I heartily welcome all of the participants today for the day 19 of our wonderful Find a Better You 21 Days Meditation Challenge. I would like to start my session asking the question: have you ever wondered how few pages can inspire you and transform the perspective you see the life? What if I told you that reading a right spiritual book at the right moment in your life can change the way you see yourself, others, and also people around you? I would like to quote one of the best quote I have ever heard from Patriji was: reading spiritual books is a shortcut for enlightenment. So, what is the significance of reading spiritual books, my dear friends? Because it's one of the key pillar of spirituality. Any spiritual seeker should adapt, along with meditation, plant-based diet, and sharing experiences. So, people of many religions, all spiritual gurus and masters across the world emphasizes on reading spiritual books. Let's talk about some benefits of reading spiritual books. First and foremost benefit is huge perspective that you see life in. It happened to me really well in my life, my dear friends. Being the path of meditation and reading books along with the practice of meditation really expanded my horizon, expanded the way I look at things, expanded I deal with the life situations. It also helps us to develop the inner strength we all need to face the struggles we face as humans here. It's a process of self-healing, accepting yourself as you are. It also expands your consciousness, how you think, the intellect that we all have to have, the intelligence, the inner intelligence, the intuition we have. Spiritual books really bring in the best out from yourself. So to make it more personalized, I would like to talk about my spiritual journey and how each book has changed the perspective I see the life with, and also how it has impacted and to shape the person who I am right now. So to start with, my journey goes back to the year 2002 when I was a teenager. That was a time I was battling with so many negative thoughts, fears, phobias, and I moved away from my parents for better education opportunities as I was aspiring to become a medical doctor back then. But the curriculum or the fast-paced learning system took a toll on me, physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. I couldn't take it. I could not sleep at night. I had many, many negative thoughts, and the thoughts never ended. It doesn't matter what I did, it never ended. So one fine day, after my study hour, I called my mother and said, "Mommy, I can't handle this. I want to die. I don't want to live anymore." And she consoled me and she said, "I'm going to come and meet you the following week." So, as she promised, she came and met me. But she came with a wonderful book called Jonathan Livingston Seagull. That was the first book that came into my life. And this book is all about a small bird, a story about a small bird who was thinking a little bit different than other people in the herd. Initially, I thought, oh, it's just another book the mom used to do as from my childhood. But as she was reading the book, as I was listening to this book, something inside of me resonated deeply with the story of Jonathan. So Jonathan's story is it's thinking beyond its own limitations. So this seagull bird is not trying to fit into the herd it belonged to, but it was thinking that what if I master the technique of flying so that all seagulls can have plenty of food? In general, seagulls don't fly very high. They just fly to the nearby boat, sailing boat, to catch a fish. And once they catch a fish, they bring it to the shore and they all fight for the small bits of pieces of the fish and they eat. And they do the same routine over and over again and they try to live as long as they can. That's a small lifespan of a seagull bird. But this Jonathan wants to think beyond this. He doesn't like to have this same routine over and over again and fighting for small bits or pieces of the food. So it really went beyond the belief system, beyond the belief of the herd, and it mastered the flying technique. Initially, all the elders in the community, his own parents, didn't accept him because he's going a little bit beyond their imagination and their own comfort zone. So, the bottom line of the story is do not give up. There will be so many struggles in this path in our life. We may have low moments and high moments, but Jonathan never gave up. So, that the moral was really inspiring to me at that point of time. That was what I needed at that as a teenager, with a very young mind, very pickle mind, and also with so much of negativity. So that story really inspired me, and I took it as a challenge. What if I can be the different other person that that I can go beyond all this negativity, beyond my own thoughts, my own limitations, fears, and phobias. So Jonathan, the book really inspired me at that point of time. And the same year, I have happened to attend a meditation summit along with my mother. During that summit, I one of the master gave me the book called The Nature of Personal Reality by Jane Roberts. This is called a Seth Wisdom. It's a channel material by Seth, and this book is all about you create your own reality. Whatever happens in your life, it's your responsibility, whether it's positive, negative, or something miraculous. So you are the person, you create the life you want to create. Just change the thought, change your reality. That was so enlightening to me at that point of time. So these two books, Jonathan Livingston Seagull and then Nature of Personal Reality, really inspired me as a teenager and took me out of depression. And it was a turning point in my life. And then finally, at the second year of my intermediate education, I just my grades went skyrocketed, and it surprised my parents and my teacher. It gave me so much of inner strength that we can do anything in our life with these basic principles of spirituality through these books. So later on, my life continued. I finished my intermediate education, and that was a time I spent so much of time reading many spiritual books, exploring them, and experimenting what's inside the book into my daily life and seeing the results. Some of the books I came across were You Can Heal Your Life by Louise L. Hay. It's all about self love. The moment you can accept yourself as you are, with all the flaws, all the limitations, with all the physical attributes or the characters you have, you are the enlightened person. We don't accept ourselves, my dear friends. And self love and accepting ourselves is a first, more foremost step for any spiritual evolution. I also read a book called You Forever by Loksam Rampa. The book is all about you are not just a physical body, you're a soul having a spiritual experience. It is a very new perspective that I have first time heard in my life. It really made me think beyond my own limitations. I also read many books about Osho, especially awareness, how to be aware in any single point of time, every single moment. And I came up with a beautiful author called Robin Sharma, who wrote a book called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. This is a beautiful story about a monk who just has a quest of spirituality and knowing that his passion for life. So this way, I have read so many books about when I was in early 20s, 20 to 24 years, that time of age, and I did so many experiments. Okay, reading books is not just enough, my dear friends. How can we apply these books? How can I apply the wisdom from this book into our day-to-day life? How can we solve our life issues applying these principles that we learn from these books? So later on, my life has moved on. I got married and I moved to USA along with my husband Kanishka. Then the new struggle started in my life again. So ours is arranged marriage. We don't know much about each other. We both had different personalities like north and south poles. We never get onto a common point of agreeing with anything in life. Constant fights, arguments. Every day felt like a scary roller coaster ride. So I was thinking, I was contemplating, why is my life this way right now? If I have created this life, I can also make it worthwhile. I can also make it more positive and more enjoyable and peaceful. Then the book that came to my life was A Soul's Journey by Peter Richelieu. So that book really talks about how we as souls choose our own life partners, our own children, our own family and friends, but name it, all the people in our life. How do we attract these people to the lessons we have to learn in this lifetime? That book really expanded my perspective, how I see the relationship with others, and how I see relationship with my own self. So that book really helped me to build good relationships, having a relationship with my own self, and knowing that I am the person who consciously chose this person into my life as my husband for this life. So that's a wonderful book, my dear friends. I definitely recommend you guys to read books about soul science. Other books I read about soul science were Soul's Gift, Soul's Plan, Soul's Love by Robert Jeshwan. It's a wonderful author who talks about how soul chooses this life, how souls create the experiences it wants to learn as a human. So again, my life moved on. And the next phase of my life, I was trying to get into a career of physical therapist in USA. And I have to give the exam called National Physical Therapy Exam. There were so many beliefs, negative things about this exam within the Indian community students. And they said, Divya, don't even think about this. Just change your profession, go into IT field, learn SAP, learn this chest testing jobs, and then go beyond physical therapy because you may take 5 6 years just to clear this exam. And I was knowing all these concepts, right? That you create your own reality. I want to give it a try. I want to experiment on myself and prove that this is not right. So this this the aspect that came to me was affirmations and the biology of belief is a book written by Bruce Lipton. He's a biologist and a physicist, and he wrote the concept of beliefs, how our beliefs create our reality, how we can reprogram our beliefs to rechange the reality, the outer reality we see in this life. So, affirmations, biology of beliefs, power of subconscious mind, how we are operating for the subconscious mind, how do we retrain our subconscious mind to create the reality we want to see in the outer world, and then pyramid energy. So, whatever we do with pyramids amplify the energy that we put into it. So I used pyramid power to enhance my memory, enhance my focus, to be on track with my studies. So all these principles like affirmations, power of subconscious mind, biology of beliefs, reprogramming my mind to think positively, and the creating the life I wanted are the key most principles that really gave me success in my professional career. And slowly, as I moved on with my life, the next challenge I faced was finding a dream job as a physical therapist. Despite of having all the qualifications, all the exams, all the licenses I have, I was unable to find the dream job. There's something I was stuck in at one point of my life. And the book that came into my reality was Seven Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. So this book talks about seven laws, how human life can be implemented in a better way following the seven laws. One of the law that resonated so much with me was law of giving. So the law says that whatever you give, it comes back to you in a multiple folds. So I applied to that at the specific point of my life, saying, if I find this dream job, I'm going to donate 10% of the salary to this spiritual cause. And within having that intention and that perspective towards life, I did manifest my dream job within 10 days, my dear friends. I also coupled this law of giving with manifestation technique by Dr. Joe Dispenza from the book called You Are a Placebo. Wonderful book, my dear friends. In this book, he talks about his own personal story, how as a triathlon he met with the accident and how he created his life just by visualizing the healing process. He didn't do much of any meditation practice, but he just closed his eyes and just visualized that the spine getting reconstructed, he walking again, he doing a normal and healthy life. after having a serious accident, and medical doctor said you can't walk anymore in life. So those two books really inspired me at that particular time. And then afterwards, I got into parenting. I gave birth to my first son, Rishi. And for parenting, one book that really inspired me was Prophet by Khalil Gibran. This is a very small book. He's a poet. So he describes that we don't own our children. Children come through us, not from us. We don't have any rights to implement our own thoughts, our own ambitions, our own goals onto our children. We are here to guide them and to protect them in the extreme times of danger or any emergencies. We are here just to guide them and let them lead the life as they wanted to lead. It gave me very great perspective. How do I handle myself with the kids, the interactions I have with my children? And later on, my life moved on again. And this time, I was aspiring to go to Everest Base Camp trek in 2018. So during this trek, I faced so much of self-talk, negative self-talk, so much of judgments and complaints about my own self. I constantly compared myself with the fellow takers and saying that, oh Divya, look at your personality, look at their personality, look at your fitness level, look at their fitness level and your experience and their experience, whatnot, right? And all these negative self-thought and all these things were vanished by reading the book called Toltec 4 Agreements by Don Michael Ruse. So this book has 4 agreements, 4 principles, my dear friends. The first principle is being impeccable with your words. And second thing is don't make any assumptions. Always give your best and don't take anything personally. During this trek, I had so many tour guides and potters judging my physical fitness level because I was the slowest person in the trek. They said, Divya, maybe you can't make it to the end of the trek. Maybe go back home. But every night, as I get into the low moments, thinking about all the people, all the judgment on the people, and this book really think, no, don't take them things personally. They are saying from their perspective. They don't know who you are. You just met them a few days ago. So you do always do your best. You give your best try and try to finish this trek by yourself. So every single day during this trek of 15 days, this book has become my savior. Every night I go to sleep with having low depressive thoughts that I can't do this trek. The next day morning, I got all the knowledge that I have read from this book. Really made me to jumpstart the day and say, yes, I can do it. So this is a wonderful book, my dear friends. I definitely recommend you, everybody, to read this book. So likewise, so many books came into my life at the right time and they gave me the right perspective to handle situations. So I wish even you can find so many books that come to the right time to you, the right phase of your life. And I would say, if you're not into book reading, just set aside about 10 minutes a day or maybe 20 minutes a day. Pick a book that you like to the most and then start reading at least few pages a day. The book you're reading is the book that you meant to read at that point of time. And it's not about just reading alone. See how you can implement the concepts you're learning from the book into the daily life. How it changes the perspective that you look at life as it is. So the two important aspects is reading and also applying into your life. Many people read many books, they just read. They don't take it into deep inside and they don't apply in their life. So there is one principle in spirituality that information becomes knowledge. Knowledge coupled with meditation becomes a wisdom. It's the wisdom that we all seek for, we all crave for in the spiritual path. With this wisdom is what that makes us life healthy, happy and peaceful. So I would like to end the session with a beautiful quote by Mahatma Gandhi. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. So reading spiritual books is not just a habit, my dear friends. It's all about awakening, healing, and self-discovery. So pick a book that you like the most and start reading it. I hope my story inspire you to read spiritual books.